Welcome to another episode of the New Zealand Property Ladder podcast. I'm your host, Jean, and today I'm here with Tama.
Yay.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Jean, yourself?
Yeah, fantastic as always. So busy, aren't you? You're an auctioneer.
I am. And hey, I'm only as busy as everyone wants me to be.
Oh, yeah? Depends on what.
Depends on a whole lot of factors. Auctions work. That's all I can say.
Auctions work. Are you pro-auction?
Absolutely.
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 Well, I do agree with that because all the stats shows that auctions have the shortest amount of days on market, and that's what we want for our clients.
Oh, especially when you look at the sales curve, like lesser time on market, better price value.
True.
Across Auckland, your median's anywhere between 33 and 35 days.
Regardless what the media says, auctions still work.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So how's your week been so far?
Busy week. Busy
Busy
week. Like over the last 3 months, we've seen auctions increase and auction success increase, which is really good. So yeah, it's just been busy. Every day, busy. But we love it.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Very high energy.
Have to be.
Yeah, definitely. Auction nights and days are always so exciting, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah. So what inspired you to get into real estate?
Truth be told, I just wanted to wear a suit. Like no cap, that's it. I just wanted to wear a suit. I did social work for a very long time, and I just came to a place where I needed to do something for myself, and I just wanted to wear a suit. So it was in my mind, it was go towards being a lawyer or down that path, or be a real estate agent, and real estate it was.
No, fair enough. And real estate and law, they overlap in a lot of ways as well. Like when you get a real estate license, you can't practice law. And if you do law, you can't do the other. So it's actually really interesting at that retrospective. And, social work, so different. Yeah, what kind of
Absolutely.
skills do you use from social work to bring into your real estate career now?
A lot of it's relationship building. And to be fair, the key to life is your relationships.
100%.
So, yeah, I transferred being able to build relationships and engage with people into real estate, and that really helped. Got to be able to talk to people.
No, that's good because real estate's relationship driven.
Absolutely.
And it's about who you know, not what you know.
Absolutely.
And you're also an auctioneer, but you also start in real estate, like sales, right? Yeah, tell me more.
Yep, so I started in Harcourt's Papakura and spent most of my current career at that office and with that particular franchise. I did okay. I loved selling, but I also had a passion that's clearly come out now for auctioneering.
How did you get into auctioneering?
My sales career was always auction driven, so always around the Harcourt's auctioneers, always engaging with the auction process. So I guess it just became second nature to me, the auctioneering side of it. And I just, slowly but surely transitioned into the auctioneer that I am today.
And you got some incredible awards while you haven't been doing auctioneering for a long time, only been a year or so, is that right?
A year or
Yeah,
so.
and you've done so well. So what's your secret?
I will always let myself down, but I'll never let anyone else down. So what I mean by that is I think one of the things that I love about being an auctioneer is being able to grow other people into what they perceive as success. And hopefully from an auction point of view. That's the driving motivator, that's the indicator for me, is always looking at other agents and other businesses and seeing where I can provide value and if I can support those situations.
Right. No, that's really good. And apart from the auctioneering side, do you also train agents as well? You go to appointments with them as well, right?
Yep, absolutely. So a big part of the business for myself is being within other franchises, being within offices, doing one-to-ones with agents, doing group trainings on what the topic of the day is for them. And again, just comes back to building relationships. The more I turn up, the more support I can provide, and hopefully that guides them towards and helps them get towards success.
Wow, that's inspiring. You know, earlier we were talking about Gen Z slang and how we should see that on, you know, what it would be like to see it in auction rooms or like in real estate.
Hmm. Oh, yes. Trust me, if I ever get the chance to use Gen Z slang or Gen Alpha that we were talking about, I'd love to do it. No one's going to know what I'm talking about, but it'll be an experience.
No, fair enough. I see on TikTok and social media in general where there are skits and people use Gen Z slang in healthcare and like nursing and law, it's corporate. I want to see one in real estate too.
Oh, you're in the business. We'll give that to you, eh?
Can you do an example?
Oh, I can't. Like, I'm not au fait with that slang just yet. I know there's a word called mid and skibbity. Anything else wouldn't have a clue, and that's what I mean. If I were to do that, no one's going to know what I'm saying, but I'll guide that auction process nonetheless.
Imagine going to a listing presentation and you're just like telling the seller, no cap. Auctions are the best.
Yeah, exactly. It would be hard case.
Oh, hard case. It would be Ohio.
All right.
Woo! And so we talked a bit about what we're seeing in the auction rooms at the moment. What would you say is the case study of the week for you?
Case study of the week. I think case study in general is just understanding that in August we had a 19% auction success rate. Come September that went up to 23. In October it was sitting at 37%. So auction success across the board in Auckland is looking really good. Things like the OCR coming down, does it mean we have more money? Maybe, maybe not, but it definitely shows in the auction rooms that there are more buyers. So more buyers being able to purchase property, and what I've seen over the last couple of weeks, if I use that as the example, is many more brokers enabling and supporting buyers into our auction rooms, which is great to see. We've got a lot of first home buyers in the auction rooms. At times maybe timid around the auction process, but they're engaging, which is probably a really big difference from earlier in the year when, just like everyone perceives it to be, auctions are no and wait for it to pass in. Now we're seeing first home buyers turn up and buy, which is great.
And that's encouraging to hear because in my previous experience in selling as well, I remember there was a case where 3 first home buyers were not able to bid at auction because their mortgage brokers said not to do so because they didn't have enough deposit at that time to bid. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And like last night was a really good case of that. Tim Oburn from Apollo, he had an auction with one of the Ray Wright crews. Within an hour, this first home buyer had a turnaround on their approval and they ended up purchasing at that auction. Like, it's absolutely possible, and first home buyers are getting out there and doing the hard yards to get themselves into those positions. And more over the last couple of weeks, some of the auctions haven't necessarily had cash bidders, but the agents are working to get those conditional buyers there, and the first home buyers end up putting their best foot forward, turning up to that auction, and 9 times out of 10 putting it under contract because no one else was there. So that's really good to see. Support from the agent to buyers is happening, and it's encouraging that auction process and towards what a positive outcome would be for our sellers.
Definitely. And auctions are not easy as well to go through it as a buyer and a seller from both ends because it's so intense. When you go to the auction room, I've had some clients tell me recently that they don't want to buy a house through auction just because of the amount of pressure there is on them, and they're a bit timid about it and nervous of just putting their hand up in the auction as well.
I'd say honestly, the best piece of advice I could give to agents right now is to do buyer set meetings. So we talk about with sellers a reserve set or an auction strategy meeting.
Yep.
We need to be doing that with our buyers as well. Sit them down the week before and just walk them through the process of auction, what it could be like in that auction room or at that on-site, the differences in how you can bid being fast and bold as opposed to reserved and standoffish. All these sorts of things will support that purchaser if we just do a buyer set meeting. And it's real simple. Sit down for 15 minutes, talk them through that process, get them comfortable in the environment. Even better, take them to one of the brand's auction rooms. Cooper & Co. do it really well on a Thursday. If you take your buyer there, just let them watch and be around what could happen so that when it's their time to be in that room, they know how to engage and they just feel a bit more confident. And that confidence is all they need to get started.
That's my first time hearing of a buyer set meeting, because before I always been told, reserve set meetings or like week 2 meetings, but with the seller, but what about the buyer? Because you don't want to lose a buyer simply because the auction process itself can be intimidating to them.
Why I love auction is because the best process will be gather and give the same information to both sides. And coming back to what you said, that's exactly the same. We have a reserve set with our seller because they're feeling the stress at the same time, just like our buyers are. So why not do a buyer set meeting? Take them through the process so that they feel confident to engage with an auction in rooms or on site, and they know how to work it. With the added addition that they know the agent's going to be there right next to them on the day, supporting them through that. Like, it just makes sense, does it not?
Oh, 100%. And just from day one, the moment you meet them, you just never let them go. Just guide them through the process. I always believe in just holding their hand regardless where they are in their life, whether it's a first home for them, an investor or an upsizer, etc. Regardless, you treat them with respect. You hold their hand throughout the whole process. So by the time it comes to the auction, they know what to do. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
And me, myself, I'd consider that a great auction week. A great auction week where you can do a reserve set with a seller, a buyer set with the buyer to make sure that both parties are feeling comfortable and both parties are willing to engage on auction day.
No, 100%. I think there needs to be more information out there on how to bid or the strategy for auctions as well for a buyer and a seller.
Absolutely.
well.
Transparent process.
Yeah,
Same to both sides.
yeah, exactly. What are the most common misconceptions that people get about auctions and the Auckland property market?
To me, it's a little bit biased because you have media saying that things aren't great and you have other media saying that things are. I think media is the biggest misconception. Why I love auction and the words that I've heard around this in the last 5 days is people trust their own eyes. They trust their own eyes. So when they're in that auction room, they get to see where market value is and they get to make a decision. In comparison to listening to all these other sources that are saying good and bad and leaving you in the middle still on the fence. I think media is the biggest misconception at times. I think everyone's saying that the property market's slowing down, is turned on its back and it's no good at the moment. I think that's a big misconception. And I base that on stats as well as what I see on a day-to-day basis. October alone, we had north of 1,600 sales across Auckland. In September, it was north of 1,500. And yes, part of that's the whole spring boom, which is great to see, but the market's moving. And some really good words around that I've heard other auctioneers use is the market is gaining energy. And it definitely is. The volume of listings are up, the volume of sales are up, auction success is up. So it definitely shows energy is in the market and people are making things happen, which is great to see. I think that's a misconception, that it's not. What do you think?
No, I agree. The media is so good at marketing.
They are.
They're so good at marketing, and it just gets in front of you everywhere, like New Zealand Herald or like these major media companies. They just, they're really good at what they do. That's the job, right? Every time I have conversations with clients, what they say is valid, but they reference the media or their friends.
Absolutely.
Yeah, their friends.
All these third-party representations.
Oh, it's like, oh, a common objection that I get is, oh, my friends say that the market is going bad. So I believe that, so I'm not going to sell. Or auctions, I don't want to sell my house at auction. I want to sell it by price by negotiation or any other sale.
I think a big part of that is there's this whole focus that auction day is supposed to be the outcome. The auction process is really simple. It's about gathering information, providing it to both sides in a clear and concise format, and allowing both sides to make a decision, whether it's before the auction, during auction day, or post-auction. The stats show that should you follow the auction process and market your home via auction, your days on market become less. And you know this.
Yeah.
And technically speaking, you achieve premium pricing, which is great. In comparison to going any other method of sale, and you're sitting there and you're wondering what's happening, your median days on market is definitely 45 plus. Sometimes you hear from the agent, sometimes you don't. And that's just the truth. People probably won't like me saying that, but it's the truth. If you go to auction, you just get to see everything in front of you. And for our sellers, they get to make really informed decisions. And again, A-grade auction work. If you have a buyer set meeting with that buyer, you build the relationship over the campaign, let them decide where value is and get out of the way.
The one thing you mentioned is communication. And it's communication in regards to, sometimes you hear from the agent, sometimes you don't.
It's the truth.
It's the truth. As you said, not many people are going to like it, but it's the truth. And I personally experienced that too. And it's understandable because agents are really busy, but at the same time, you're leaving money on the table if you don't answer your phone or if you don't get back to them.
Just like what I brought through social work, right? Everything is about relationships, which in turn then means everything is about communication. The better you are at communicating information, good or bad, indifferent, the better the outcome.
Of course.
And a big thing you see with an auction campaign is communication for the first 3 to 4 weeks, and then it slowly drops off. And you get put into that zone of lost credibility. And that's where things become a wave show. Up and down, stress, emotions, offers, viewings. But if you just front foot that every week or every second day, there's no limit to how often you should communicate, but you definitely need to.
Oh, definitely. And regardless of the good or bad, you just got to deliver the news either way. And I've been told that if the clients don't get disappointed at you in the first 3 weeks, then you're not doing your job right.
Probably many ways that we could talk about that analogy within the market. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to that relationship and that communication.
No, 100%. I do agree with you. What advice would you give to someone that's currently buying or selling in this market right now?
Right now, I think the best pieces of advice that I could offer, if anyone's willing to listen, is talk to a mortgage broker and certainly talk to an agent. Find an agent that fits you, that suits how you want to go about it. Make sure that agent's willing to work for you, and let the agent take the stress of the process and use your time efficiently. Go to the broker, make sure your finances are in process, if not sorted, because what I'm seeing out there is there are a lot of opportunities being missed because we're not ready. So if we get ready first, make sure we have the supports around us, broker, agent, solicitor, a building inspector. If we have those ready first, everything moving forward just becomes way easier, and you get to take opportunities when they arise.
That's really good advice, and also a good lawyer makes a difference too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, a lawyer, a good one, they will work for you, and they will do the due diligence on the paperwork for you, and they will tell you the good or bad, but they will also provide a solution as well. Yeah.
And it's that support, right?
Yes.
That support network, that relationship that you have. If you can get those sorted, which is the piece of advice that I'm giving, have those supports around you, the process of you buying a home will be really, really easy. Or it becomes a lot easier. Similarly with sellers. Talking to 3 agents, understanding where they see value, how they can create value, not rely on a market but create a market, how they can generate that interest for your property, all those sorts of things. If you just take your time selecting the right agent who's going to do it the way that you believe is the best, it'll just help that process move really, really well. Have a solicitor on your back door so that whenever you have things that come up, they're just there to answer the questions for you and give you the advice. And 9 times out of 10, we're selling to buy again. So again, have that broker in play, have those relationships, buying and selling, the process will just be easier. Trust our own eyes.
That's true. Oh, as you said, buyers trust their own eyes. So do we. But at the same time, at the end of the day, we need to give the option to them to make their own decision.
Yeah. And it's just like life. There's no guarantees on any person anyway. It's always a moving connection between your relationships and communication. And as long as you're meeting those sorts of criterias, things will happen.
100%. You said some really good things today. Amazing nuggets that I'll definitely keep in mind when talking to buyers and sellers as well when doing an auction campaign.
Beauty.
And so what's the best way for us to connect with you?
Follow the Instagram page, follow my Facebook, call me 0210738006. I'm here to do auctions, but talk property in general.
Thanks so much for coming here to the studio today. Really appreciate it, especially when you're a really busy man.
Appreciate you, Jean.
Follow him on socials and follow us on socials too. Subscribe to our channel to watch more because there is definitely more coming. Well, thanks so much, guys, and we shall see you next time. Bye.